Not having a mortgage is not always a good idea. We all heard that having a paid-off house is safer than having a mortgage, but is it really? Have you done the math? In several situations, it can be riskier to pay off your house and leave it paid off, especially if you don't have any investments that give you passive income. We're gonna go over an example in this video with all the math, and if you're new to the channel, I'm Arianne and I retired with investment income at the age of 27, and I made this channel so good people like you can learn how to create enough investment income so you can be financially free as well. Now, let's look at this story about Dan and Suzy to see if having a paid-off house is safer than having a mortgage in their situation. So Dan and Suzy are two neighbors. They both each have a paid-off house worth $300,000. Dan just follows the advice he hears without doing the math, and he keeps his house paid off. Dan's taxes and insurance are $300 a month, and his utilities, food bills, and other necessary expenses are about $700 a month. So his bare minimum expenses are $1,000 a month. He has $5,000 of cash in the bank for his emergency fund, and he doesn't have any extra money to invest, so he doesn't have investments or any passive income. Dan's neighbor Suzy has the same house worth $300,000. She paid it off. But Suzy started watching educational videos about money and investing just like this and used a cash-out refinance last year, and she got a 3% interest loan. She got $240,000 cash out of her house. Now, from that $240K, Suzy sets aside $40,000 for her emergency fund. Then her mortgage payments, including taxes and insurance, are $1,300 a month. And then she also has another $700 in food bills, utilities, and other necessary expenses just like Dan. So her total monthly bare minimum expenses are $2,000 a month, which is $1,000 more than Dan. Now, the remaining $200,000 from her cash-out refinance, Suzy invests that in a real estate investment that makes her an extra $2,000 each month in passive income. So now Suzy has $2,000 a month in passive income and a $40,000 emergency fund for emergencies. And Dan has no passive income and only $5,000 a month emergency fund for emergencies. Now, next year, Dan and Suzy both lose their jobs. Suzy was surprised and she was scared at first, but then she realizes that even without her job, her $2,000 a month in passive income pays for her house, her utilities, food, and other necessary expenses. Plus, she even has $40,000 in her emergency fund for any other bills that come in. So she can take her time and figure out what she needs to do without being so stressed. She has so many options. She can choose not to work or just work part-time, and she's even considering working on a business idea that she always wanted to start. Suzy is super thankful that she pulled out her lazy money and started investing it. On the other hand, Dan is freaking out. Since he lost his job, he has to dip into the $5,000 in emergency fund he has, and his bills are only $1,000 a month, but it'll only last 5 months because his emergency fund is only $5K. And sure, he has a paid-off house worth $300K, but he can't get a loan on it now because he doesn't have a job. And if he can't find a new job in a few months, he might have to be forced to sell his house. He remembers his neighbor Suzy telling him to get a cash-out refi last year and to watch those educational YouTube videos, but he didn't listen. I feel really sorry for Dan. You know, Dan didn't do anything wrong. Dan is a hardworking guy who just wants to live a good life. But instead of educating himself and taking control of his financial future, he just listened to all the advice floating around without looking into his own specific situation. And now he wants to change things, but it's too late. He now realizes that having a mortgage on your house isn't a bad thing. It can actually help you if you use it responsibly by setting aside more of an emergency fund and then using the rest to invest for cash flow for passive income. So for those of you watching this, I encourage you to look into your own situation and run the numbers. Don't just follow what other people say. Usually, most people aren't actually afraid of debt. They're afraid of one of these three things. It's either one, they can't trust themselves with the money because they might spend it on silly things, or number two, even if they're planning on investing the money, what they're investing in is risky with a high chance of losing money. Or three, they don't know enough about the asset they're investing in enough to trust it. So instead of just being afraid of debt, address those three very important issues. You already have a good head start since you're watching this video, so what you want to do next is check out my other videos on real estate investing so you can learn about an asset that you can invest in that's relatively low risk and typically can provide you with cash flow and passive income. And if you know anyone that this video might help, please consider sharing this with them. You could be the reason why they turn out like Suzy instead of Dan. And as always, please like and click that subscribe button and notification bell so you see my new videos as they come up. And if you're on Instagram or TikTok, follow me there for daily tips on money and investing, and join our free Facebook group called Faster Financial Freedom to meet other investors on the path to financial freedom. Alright guys, thank you so much for spending time with me. Have an amazing day and I will see you next time.